So write the slope-intercept form of the equation of a line through the given point with the given slope. All right. So this is what we're going to do. Here's the point. Let me call this x1 and y1, which is the x of the first point, y of the first point. There's only one point given. In my slope, let me use the letter m, because on the graph it tells us how to move. Now, when we have a point and we have a slope, there's this formula that we like to call point slope formula. And that formula I'm going to start with as y minus y1 is equal to m and then x minus x1. Now the y1, the values for y1, the values for m, and the values for x1 are all given in the question. So let me replace the values of what was given. So let me write this as y minus 1, it's equal to 3, and then inside parentheses, x minus 1. Notice my y1, my m, and my x1, I replace them with the values given. Okay. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of parentheses. So y minus 1. On the left, I'm not going to do anything. On the right, let me distribute the 3. So it's going to give me 3x minus 3. Right, I distributed 3. So 3 times x and 3 times negative 1. So 3x minus 3. And then the last thing I'm going to do, I want to get the y by itself. So this minus 1, I'm going to move it to the other side as a plus 1. Don't forget to switch the sign. And I'm going to write this as y. It's equal to 3x minus 2. Right? Negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2. Look at it as a scoreboard, right? There was a game. The negative scored 3, the positive scored 1. The negative is 1 by 2, so that's why it comes out with a negative 2. And that's it. That's my slope-intercept form of the line that goes through the point given with the slope given. Let's take a look at number 20. Let me zoom out so we see the formula there. And let me remind you, this is my x1, my y1, and the slope is the m, the value of m. So let me replace the values that I know. So I'm going to go y minus a negative 4. Notice how they said y minus a negative 1. So y minus a negative 4. For the moment, let me write it like that. Y minus a negative 4. It's equal to negative 1. And then inside parentheses, x minus a negative 1. Let me emphasize all those minuses, right? Y minus, x minus. So yeah, I had to write that. But then we also learned before that when there's two negative signs put together, it makes a plus sign. So let me change this to y plus 4. And inside the parentheses, let me change that to x plus 1. When there's two negative signs put together, make it a positive sign. Okay, so let me get rid of parentheses. So I have y plus 4. It's equal to, distribute the negative 1. So it gives me a negative 1x minus 1. Right, I distribute the negative 1 to the inside of the parentheses. And last thing, to get the y by itself, the plus 4, let me move it to the other side as a minus 4. So I get y is equal to negative x minus 5. Cool, let's take a look at a couple more examples. I remembered, let me write down the formula again. Y minus y1 is equal to m, and then inside parentheses, x minus x1. And then I remember here, this is my x1, my y1, and then my slope is my m. Okay, so let me rewrite this. Let me use blue this time. Let me rewrite this as y minus 2 is equal to 1/5, and then x minus 5. Okay, let me get rid of parentheses. So I have y minus 2. When I distribute here, 1/5 times x is 1/5 x. I know there's a minus. Now 1/5 times 5. Okay, I can easily say that's a 1, but let me show you guys how. Because I'm thinking 1/5 times 5/1. My 5, I made it into a fraction. This 5's cancel out, so I get 1/1, which simplifies to just 1. Okay. Now, to get the y by itself, this minus 2, let me move it to the other side as a plus 2. So I get y is equal to 1/5 x plus 1. Let's do another example with the slope as a fraction. I know this is my x1, this is my y1, and my slope is my m. So I'm gonna go y minus a -2. It's equal to a -1/2, and inside parentheses x minus a -4. Before I move on, I remember that two negative signs make a plus sign. So here's y plus 2, and inside the parentheses is x plus 4. Okay, so let me get rid of parentheses. So I have y plus 2 equals, when I distribute this, is -1/2 x. Okay, now when I distribute here, I know negative times a positive is going to be negative. I need to find out what's 1/2 times 4. Let me do that here at the side. 1/2 times 4/1. That gives me 4/2, right? Because I just multiply straight. 1 times 4, 2 times 1. So 4/2, but 4/2, that's basically 2, right? 4 divided by 2 is 2. So there. So I have y plus 2 is equal to -1/2 x minus 2. I want the y by itself. So this plus 2, I'm going to move it to the other side as a minus 2. Don't forget to switch the sign. So I have y is equal to -1/2 x minus 4. Notice how easy it is when we have a point and the slope given. In some of your equations, I'm going to give you guys the point, but the way I'm going to give you guys the slope is by giving you guys another equation. And I'm going to use the words, so let me emphasize here at the side, I'm going to use the words parallel and perpendicular. Okay. When I use the word parallel, I want you to use the same slope. Let me show you guys what I mean. Let's say I give you guys an equation that says y is equal to 2x plus 3. Well, the slope is the number in front of the x. So my slope is going to be 2, right? Same slope. When I use the word parallel, same slope. Sometimes I might give it to you as a whole number. Sometimes I might give it to you as a fraction. Now, when I use the word perpendicular, I want you to use the reciprocal. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. I can give you the equation y is equal to 2/3 x plus 5, right? I can give you guys an equation. The slope that I want you to use, so I look at the slope of this line. The slope that I want you to use is the reciprocal of it. So the slope that I want you to use is 3/2. Don't switch signs. If it's positive, leave it as positive. If it's negative, leave it as a negative. Just use the reciprocal. And then actually on perpendicular, we switch the sign. So it's going to be negative. Okay. If it's positive, switch it to negative. If it's negative, switch it to positive. So two things we're going to use for perpendicular. Reciprocal. Reciprocal, notice how I switched the fraction. It was 2 over 3. I call it 3 over 2. Flip the fraction and change the sign. For parallel, same slope. For perpendicular, switch the sign and do reciprocal, okay? So you guys will have a little bit of fun with this on your homework.